That's too much feedback there. There's a lot of feedback on that song. We'll find out why there's so much feedback from that song we just heard there on Friday Neon on 4ZZZ 102.1 FM. But Borodino is the outfit you heard who have released that track about a year ago now. And now that Tito's gone, I am joined by my next special guest here in the studio to join me, as Borodino have been without a gig for almost a year. At the cave in Wollongabba tonight, we'll have 3-hour flight along with Borodino, and the year is up, and so far the year has been off on a good start. We think it is, we hope it is. To tell us more how the year's been going so far, I'm joined by Alex Carrot.
Good morning, thank you for having us on.
Okay, it's nice to have you. And also we got Josh Levitt.
Love it.
Love it. I love it. Thank you, Levitt. Love it.
Love it.
While you're correcting things, it's
look,
red.
hang on.
That's
No,
okay. We can
I think Alex Carrot suits.
Okay, so
Alright.
carrot and love it. I love a carrot.
Yeah, me too.
Yes, we all love carrots.
Agreed.
Yeah, especially the.
We've started on common ground.
Of course. We've got one thing in common: is carrots here. Anyway, thank you for joining us on Friday Neon, or joining me. A year has passed. It was a year ago you launched that track, which we played just a minute ago, and the whole year's just gone by without a gig.
Well, we did, not quite correct. We did play, I think it was, October last year. We did play at a Battle of the Bands that took place at the Sound Garden in Fortitude Valley.
And how did you come? How well did you go?
Not well.
Oh. That's why you're still on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we played well. We played well though.
It's not the destination, it's the journey.
Of course.
No.
Anyway, you played the Sound Garden, and what was the turnout like then?
It was quite good, considering that Brisbane was still in that situation where we all had to sit down at designated tables, no one was allowed to stand, which is understandable. So considering those circumstances, a whole bunch of our friends came out. We got to expose our music to a bunch of new people who'd never seen us before. We're really glad we were able to play that.
They must have been holding the table tight like this because you wouldn't want to get up and dance. So they had to sort of angst on the table with their fists. Or did you see something like that?
Yeah, I think it's definitely a very different environment now that people are, once again having to sit down. I know that our gig tonight is now seated.
It's
given,
seated, yeah.
Yes, given the current
Candles.
restrictions.
Yeah.
But unfortunately
tie.
we don't have very romantic music, otherwise maybe we'd be
Could
doing
you
better.
sort of cabaret it down a bit?
Yeah, we'll consider it. I've always thought like like a spotlight, gentle mood.
Look, we're open to anything, really.
Yeah.
Well, this is the part of the audience experience, because there hasn't been an experience in the audience so far in the last, well, there has been, but not in the last year leading up to October. It's just pretty much, nothing really. So how did you cope with in terms of not performing? Was there a lot of writing? Was there new things you decided you would try out, for example?
Yeah, so we knew when COVID hit and when all the venues got shut down, that was very soon after we actually played the launch show for the album that song was on. That's our debut self-titled album. That came out, we played the launch show in February, and we thought, 2020, this is going to be our year, we're going to absolutely kill it.
Guns blazing.
Yeah, and then COVID happened, so we thought, well, this isn't great, but, because we can't play live, let's focus on writing some new material. The material that was on that first album was pretty much exclusively written by me. And what we're doing going forward now is, because our lineup's been quite stable for a while now, the material that we've been working on in the last year is a lot more collaborative in nature, so it is going to sound a bit different due to the fact that it's not just me writing everything this time.
So you put people, the members, how many you got? 5?
We have 5.
5. So were they good at songwriting? I mean, there would have to be a point where, I'm really bad at songwriting, but instrumentation's different, but when it comes to songwriting, because you only probably, I don't know, what's the generalization of the songwriters in the band? Are they equal, or who does most of it then?
That's a really really good question. It's more of
Tread carefully, Alex.
Yeah, I'll
No,
tread
I'm
very
joking.
carefully. I think it's at the point now where, because we've been playing music together for so long, we all kind of get the vibe, we all know what we're all about, and so when people kind of throw in ideas now, it's all suiting well. I think the first time I kind of let go over my kind of
Ego?
yeah, okay, let's go with that. First time I let go of or started to let go of my ego, there was a song we wrote where Josh actually wrote the lyrics. And it was almost a relief, like, yes, I don't have to do everything anymore. I can actually kind of and give some creative control to the other members, and it's a good feeling. And it also means that the music has evolved now, because if I wrote all the music for the next album, it's going to sound exactly the same as the first album.
How do you feel about that, Josh? It's something that you've been wanting to push in your songwriting, or you're throwing the deep end, weren't you?
Yeah, no, it was a really good opportunity. So I spent a lot of years not doing anything musically, like just, concentrating on other things in life, recovering from, mental stuff, just doing me. But, getting to re-engage with music's been really, like, powerful and important for me, and being able to actually write something with, good friends and perform it, that's like, absolutely fantastic. I will say, though, in terms of coping with COVID, we've done pretty well because we don't rely on music for our living. But, I think a lot of other people are doing it a lot tougher. So, support them with Support Act, a lot of great charities around. And, I think that's definitely very worthwhile,
Yep. In the studio, I'm joined by Josh and also Alex from Borodino. We're going to play another track called Polished Glider. Anything special about this track?
It's about planes.
It is. I'm going to not go on a 20-minute rant about the history of it, but basically it's about aerial warfare in Vietnam.
Okay, and a bit of a language warning involved with this
Bit of a language warning.
So you love the swearing words, like the word, for example...
Who?
Yeah, no. that might be in it. Friday Neon, 477 102.1 FM. On Friday Neon, 477 102.1 FM, you heard Polished Glider from my guests here, Borodino and Alex. Thank you. You mentioned that the whole album is one block of sound, of static feedback, no stopping points.
Mostly, I think there's, in terms of just the sound coming through, there's about 2 breaks on there.
Okay. Do you remember the days of cassettes? I mean, we still have them. And they used to have a device in the cassette player where you can play it, but you hit a fast forward or rewind button and it stops at the particular or beginning of the track. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah. Can't say I had one of those, but that's a nifty little invention.
They were a great idea. But that would have really sucked on your cassettes if you did bring one out, if you wanted to go back and listen to that one song again. So why did you do that?
So when I was writing the music for that album, I was, at the time, I still am, really into the Dandy Warhols, particularly their early stuff. So the first couple of albums, they did that. Between the different songs, there'd be no silence. It's not like there's a fade out and then into the next song or anything. It's just maybe one guitar riff will fade out and then it'll just blend seamlessly into the next song as the next riff comes in, or maybe a bit of guitar feedback will carry over. And I heard that and I thought, basically, yeah, that's cool. I want to do that.
Yeah, it's a bit more of a live experience, I think, the sound. And
Sounds like a good excuse not to talk to the audience as well.
yeah, I'm trying to convince Alex to do less of that. So.
I'm trying to convince the rest of the band to do more of that. So we'll let you know how that goes.
So we're going to see a lot more bannering tonight.
We'll see. We'll see.
We'll see who wins the argument.
Okay, all right. Just have your eggs and tomatoes ready and chicken wire. So, in terms of having this whole year writing all this stuff, how's the mental health of the band? How are they going, the rest of the band, in terms of getting through to this period now? And then who knows what's going to happen in this year, especially now that, I mean, you probably can get vaccinated because you're under 50, obviously. You look young, both of you, so it should be okay but how's the band going anyway?
I think we're doing a lot better now. About mid last year, when there was a lot of uncertainty, like we didn't know when we'd be able to play a gig again, which I guess is a much bigger deal for us because we've always seen ourselves more of a live band than a studio band. I mean, we definitely do like writing songs and going in the studio, but I think with our particular kind of music and the way we perform, it's definitely more tailored towards a live show. And that's what I've always told people. Like, if you listen to our music, it's more supposed to be like a teaser for what you'll experience when you go and see us live. So about mid last year, yeah, things are very up in the air, and we thought, well, look, it's a pretty bad situation we're in, but we just got to deal with it like the rest of the like the rest of the music industry. And as Josh said before, we even though it wasn't great having everything shut down due to COVID, we are quite grateful that all 5 members of the band do have day jobs. And we do feel for all the bands out there whose pretty much sole income is music, and they would have just been absolutely ruined by it. So in one ways, it hasn't been great, but we also do consider ourselves lucky that we do have day jobs and we're still relatively financially secure.
Yeah, and you mentioned Support Act before too, which is an organisation that help the musicians, roadies, etc., and anyone who are inclined or interested in finding out more about them can go online, check out Support Act, as they bring help towards musicians and roadies, etc., behind the scenes especially, which is a good thing to get onto. There's another thing coming up. I'm just trying to find the information as I'm speaking. I'll just do it later on. It's to do with roadies down at the Brisbane Entertainment Centre coming up this weekend. Roadie for Roadies. This is this weekend, the Brisbane Entertainment Centre from 10:30 with Beck Lavelle, Hussey Hicks, Oscar Campbell, Olivia Ruth, and it's happening around Australia. So it's actually people going for a walk and they raising money for roadies, musicians, etc., who've been affected by COVID. But also before COVID, there was still the highlight of roadies that are not being looked after, and there's no support for them. So before that, they were going to do one this time last year, but that got canned as well. So
it's more important than ever now, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it was a tough industry to begin with, and now, even now we're not out of the woods. We saw with Byron Blues Fest and everything, things can still get cancelled at a moment's notice. So very important to support your beautiful musicians and the people who make that music happen.
That's right, and go out tonight to the Cave-In, West End. 3-hour flight are supporting, along with Borodino. No physical albums coming out at this point with Borodino, but you can go online on the streaming services and YouTube, check out the new film clip as well.
Well, by new, again, a year old, but
Yes,
relatively
still
new.
new.
But it's still great.
Yeah.
And also with the show, so it's actually in Wollongabba where the venue is. But we'll also be live streaming it on our Facebook page.
Brilliant. Thanks very much, Josh, and also Alex for joining me on Friday Neon this morning. And we're going to play the War Against Youth. Any language in that one?
Yes, there is.
Okay, there's some swear words. Listen in if you love.
It's definitely the angriest song on the album. Let's put it that way.
Okay, if you're cooking or whatever it is you're doing out there, just go ballistic in the operating theatre. If you in one. Thanks so much, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.